fascinating.
Okay, are we good to go?
We are good to go. We are great
Okay.
to go.
We are great to go. Okay, so do you remember where we were? I've watched.
Spinach-shaped spaceport building.
Yes. This is the cock ring, isn't it? So this is we're on Aranacea.
Yes.
And if you remember Aranacea, it's in the chat. It's in the chat messages there. This is the system. It's the junglish, heavily wooded kind of planet.
Yes.
All the guys are on the planet,
Yes.
and you've gone back up to the high port. Now, I've decided that this high port, it's almost like a city, and cities have names, and I don't like keep calling it a high port, so I've given it a name, Port Victoria.
Port Victoria.
Port Victoria.
Very British.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yes. And you've got Port Amalgo on the ground.
Amalgo.
Which is Amalgo. That's where the guys are, Port Amalgo.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, and we're on Port Victoria. Okay, so now Port Victoria is, if we just kind of roughly kind of just briefly review, it's almost a city in itself. It's got a population of employs about 45,000 people. And those people some of them would stay there for all the time. Some of them would be there for days or weeks. They might live there. They might live on the planet and get the shuttle that goes up and down. You've got here, you can see the ring, this kind of cock ring. These are the sort of docking pads. These are the landing pads with the hangars. And you can see at the bottom, there's like a ring that goes around, a thin ring. That's like a train, like a monorail, like a light rapid transport.
Is it an AI created image?
No, that's proper art. That.
Oh, okay, because it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's not an AI image. That's proper art.
Someone had.
Someone's done that.
Someone's ideas.
Someone's made that. I think so. Yeah, and then you've got the vertical. You've got the shaft, vertical shaft, which is kind of like it's a mixture of residential, and business.
Nice.
The higher you go, the more important it is. Yeah. And then at the bottom here is kind of engineering, power plant, kind of heavy industry kind of stuff.
Right. But it's like where UK population is.
Exactly. At the bottom. Stick them at the bottom. Waste management and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's not exactly like that, but it's roughly kind of like that. Yeah. You've got anytime you've got a number of ships in port, small ships like shuttles going down to the planet, ferrying passengers, and interstellar ships coming and going. There is a system for it. It obviously varies depending on how busy. If we ever need to know, I can work it out. You've got an indigenous population at Port Victoria who live there, work there. It's the city in itself. And then you've got the transient population of people who are passing through, travellers and whatnot. It's got a shipyard, so it can build ships, not very big, and you can get fuel, and there's warehousing. You've got hey up, Mickey.
Hello.
Hello. Hey up, Mickey. You all right?
Hey.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, we're all right, mate. All right. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to come and kind of jib on.
Well, I thought I thought it'd be nice to just pop in. I'm sort of fiddling with a few bits and bobs on the computer.
Have it on in the background and just kind of. Well, you're welcome to enjoy Andrew's discomfort. Hopefully.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. If you wanted to log on to Foundry, you could log on. You could log on to Foundry.
Yes.
I can. Do you want the link?
I think
should automatically have it.
I can drop it in chat. Interestingly enough, I noticed that Mickey has changed camera. Did you change it? So you have different cameras, and you change from one to another.
Well, this is the laptop camera you're on now. I normally have an external camera for, say, so when I'm on my main monitor, I'm looking at.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was that was several cameras movement. That's a bit.
He's got a multimedia. He's building a multimedia center.
Are you?
I don't know. No, I just have ended up with. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, right? So I end up with. I've got a fair bit of kit that, you know, when one needs to reconfigure things to create different stuff. Usually one has a few toys lying around. So yeah, I do have a few. I like me tech. You know. Anyway.
Okay, so at the high port at Port Victoria, you've got all entertainment. You've got all the sort of shops, popular shows, luxury hospitality. There's a medical sort of centre, and there's basically the interior is this glittering glass and crystal iron, clean antiseptic mirror surfaces, smartly dressed people, attractive women. It's kind of like ultra kind of modern. It feels like a different world than the grotty Port Amalgo on the surface of the planet, and it's meant to feel like that. It was built by Jedico, General Development Corporation, a few hundred years ago.
Yes.
And in return for that building of that port, they get certain monopolies on trade deals, a seat on your board.
It's about to change, though.
Well, the way we left it.
Right.
The way we left it is, as I sort of looked at the last episode, but I've not looked at it all yet, but I think I've got all of it, is that you had three stated priorities. There was, and you can interrupt me or disagree if you remember it differently, was to fulfill Ekaft's. Ekaft was the Aslan Lord of Port Amalgo. He wanted to disrupt the trade, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and he said if you disrupt the trade and drive trade to the planet, you would get preferential deals on trade rates. So you'll make a lot more money. And you said, I want a percentage of the planetary income. And he said, no way. Fair enough. So you said, like, there was that sort of mission was to fulfill Ekaft's quest. The one was you also wanted to gain some intel on the treasure ship.
Yes.
On the contents of the vault,
which team
the crew,
needed,
and the cargo.
There were just to confirm. I think with this priority there were pros and cons. At some point, I think we discussed it with the team whether actually my intel was required or not, because there was something about the knowledge about this cargo ship which, irrelevant of the knowledge, didn't affect team intention or plans at all. I think something like that. Did you came across that part of the recording by chance?
I've not come to that bit yet. They did get quite a lot bit of information on the crew.
Right. Okay.
But what as I recall, but I've not come to that bit yet. But I might be remembering incorrectly. But it doesn't matter, because it would be something you would get. Is you would get information on not what's in the vault.
Yes.
Because even the crew don't know.
Yes.
But what's in the lower cargo hold?
Yes. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, which was something like, I mean, I could tell you, but it was something like. Do you want me to tell you?
If you have it on hand, why not? Let's bring up those goods to the mind place.
Imperial treasure ship. Cargo notes. I do not have it.
It's okay.
Do not have it. I mean, it was quite a lot. It was something like 100 tons of radioactive. It was about 100 tons of dust spice.
Yeah.
Which is an Aslan narcotic, very, very juicy, very tasty. And then I think there was something like 100 tons of valuable radioactives.
It was something like generic. It wasn't something super unique, not something which would, I believe at the time, call our attention that it's relevant to the highest in principle.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
So.
There was valuable stuff in there, but then there's also the contents of the vault that you couldn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Now and then you also wanted to find out potential intel on other ships that were maybe coming and going into the port.
That was like kind of hint to do some pirating.
Bit of piracy,
I think one of the ideas was, where I wrote this long text, to use mining drone of particular type, so that it follows a ship, and there was like this roughly mathematical calculation, if I believe let's just double check if I recall it correctly. Each system would have a certain amount of NPC guards, and there was this estimate about where we start following the ship based on the mining drone information, where we intercept it with the lowest probability of guard being nearby in a spherical volume around the spaceport, something like that. Along those lines.
Now the way we left it was that you just you'd caused a bit of trouble, and you've got this job, didn't you? You got this job in there was the Port Authority, Port Victoria Authority, and it had all these different kind of directorates. If you look in your system data under Aranacea, it'll have the Aranacea High directorates, where you've got admin, customs, concessions, leasing, cargo warehousing.
1 second, please. It's in central supply. No, it's on the map. I think you need to give me.
If you go to journal. Yeah, and if you go down to system data.
System data.
And then you go on to Aranacea.
Yeah. Amazing.
And if you go down to
I remember. I think Lewis
number 62.
How was 62?
Yeah, number 62. These are your.
Yeah.
You met this guy number 61, Kiagi Munma.
Yes.
He wanted him to give you a top class job, and when he couldn't do that, you tried to shoot him.
I did, and I missed.
and then we went. Then you've got like these are the different directories on number 62 there, Port Victoria directories.
Yes.
And you couldn't get the high job because that's Jedico, but there was a APA, Aranacea Port Authority job in procurement, accountancy, corporate finances.
And I remember, sorry to interrupt, but I remember a very unique, I won't call it great, but it was definitely a unique idea to delay salaries of low-skilled kind of...
Catering.
Not just catering, I think it was about like cleaning, like in general cleaning of the spaceport, because I think when you were describing spaceport, especially in the past, you did mention this spotless kind of airport-like kind of
super nice, super clean.
Super. And I think the idea was that if we really let it down on purpose, that will deviate people from the spaceport.
Yes.
And I think sorry, just last thing about this memory, which is amazing to remember, to be honest. It brings up this creativity. I think that initially you didn't even think about it because you thought that I needed like this high position job because only high position job would allow to influence spaceport. But actually when we discussed it, that this low position job in theory could also cause this, I think this...
It's not even that low, more like middle management.
Middle management, yeah.
Yeah, so middle management job. This is the guy whose job you took.
I believe so.
Yes, Lewis Howe.
Was it procurement or something? You can just read.
He was financial services, procurement, accountancy,
and corporate finance. Yes.
Yes, yeah, just the day-to-day stuff that makes the port run.
Nice.
Nothing flash. Just that he's the guy who pays people wages. So you got his job, and he wasn't very happy about that.
Sorry.
And within a few days you booked up the salaries of a few people, and then you already done that.
Nice.
You already done that because we took the scene to Governor Jores, and here he is. There's Governor Jores.
Really? Oh yes, I think I remember this guy.
Yes, this was Governor Jores, and we met him and the union rep, Everelda Fisher.
Does ring the bell.
And we had this meeting where she was like, why have my members not been paid? You know, she was kicking off, and Governor Juarez had called you up because it's your department's responsibility.
Wow, that's a sticky place to start the session.
That's where we're starting the session. So what I want you to do now is, you've been called into this room. She's there, like, fucking fuming.
Yes.
You know she's a hard ass. Mm-hmm. Governor Juarez, he's a bit of an unknown element. You've sort of met him briefly in a couple of meetings and stuff like that, but only like when he gives the sort of corporate talk, corporate spiel. What I want you to do, we're going to see, because basically she's called up strikes.
Yes.
She's called up strikes, and that is quite good, really, because food is not being delivered. It's not being, the canteens, the restaurants.
What's about cleaning as well, though?
Cleaning as well, yeah. Cleaning is not. If we didn't, it's good. It's a good little add-on. Cleaning is not being done, and how long does it take a toilet in a hotel to start to look? In a restaurant, how long does it take before
I move into the hotel? 5 minutes.
What I want you to do is, because there are protests in the corridors, right? I want you to roll 2d6.
Because whether I was hit by someone maybe or something like that.
No.
Nice. 2d6. 2d6 roll.
2d6. Okay. Right, okay.
You die.
Okay. There's been a march through the station, through Port Victoria, peaceful march through the main corridors of the station by this caterers and cleaners of this union that Everelda Fisher represents. And it's a peaceful demonstration, but they've been gaining quite a lot of support from other departments. There's a bit of a worry, and this is what she's saying here. Listen, my members are tired of being pushed around. We're getting a lot of sympathy from the other unions and from the other departments. This thing could blow. Not blow, but this thing could go big unless you get my members paid now. And Governor Juarez looks at you and he's like, what's your name here? Is it Reytar?
That's a great question. I can't remember it very well whether it had another name, but I think so.
Doesn't matter. Make one up now.
Hold on. Can you just recall a few things, please? How long have I been on a spaceport so far this roll? Because I think, rolled a bit of time element, and I just don't remember whether it was week, few weeks, month. Like, how long time ago did I take this job?
You've been here for, let's have a look. You altered so if you look at the calendar, if you look at the simple calendar, SC, so if you go to the left hand of your screen, there's a thing there that says journal notes.
Going to mark movements, measuring, display, journal notes, yes?
Yeah,
SC calendar,
SC calendar, yeah. So the date on the current date is 223.
Yes.
But that's for the rest of the guys.
Yes.
Okay, this is not yet happened. I just thought what we're playing today is actually in 231. So this is a flash forward to what hasn't happened yet. You've been there for 218. You've only been there for 7, 8, 9, 10. You've been there for about 13 days. 13 days. Couple of weeks. That involves several days, maybe a week of kind of inductions, orientations, meetings, and all that lot.
And 1 day, and salary is delayed so far for 1 day.
No. It's a few days.
It's a few days.
So
Because
let's roll a d6 because we didn't actually stipulate, and but it would be
that's a bit important.
yeah. Let's roll a d6 and see how many days. 4 days.
Salary has been delayed. Okay, so my
Salary has been delayed
is
4 days.
good. That helps a lot with the context, but also additional question. I think with an Aslan, I was just a piece of information is missing in my memory at least, because if Aslan said that I will get just more favorable deals, which may or may not, which currently sounds like, as of now, what Reytar wouldn't value that much. Why still did I go through this? Was it just because we are on the rail of the plan and I decided it doesn't matter what Aslan says, I will still do it? Because I thought there was some additional gain which was in mind.
So currently, let me just look at my system data.
I'm sorry, Mike, because I just want to get this context of what was the
okay.
final plan.
Yeah, so currently, let's have a look at here we go. Okay, so currently, Aranacea is a port that is kind of tolerant to you guys, and it means you get 20%. It means you get 20% price on any pirated goods, so they'll tolerate you, but that's about it.
I remember now. I remember though, Mike. There was an investment either which was done or was intended to be done in a, I think, ship maintenance shop on the planet spaceport, so that the intention was when we divert spaceships there to trade through spaceport, the value of the business will go up. I think there was this discussion. Do you remember it?
Well, they want more ships to land on the planet surface.
Reytar did like this, either did investment or specifically was interested in this investment in a business relevant to spaceport, which depends on the traffic. Do you remember that?
Yes. Now I was going to come to that.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to come to that. No, I was going to come to that. Yeah, I'd forgotten it, but actually, but
which I had.
Yeah, there's something else. There is something else. So, but if you were to basically disrupt the trade, you will get, instead of getting 20% on the dollar, it's 25% on the dollar.
Amazing.
So it's 5%. It's 5% on anything you sell there. So it can be a decent kind of whack. There's also another thing. You wanted to potentially buy a business,
right? Yes.
That might profit from this. Now, Aranacea, it's not a high tech planet. It's not an industrial planet. There's lots of shares and things you can buy and stuff, but there was one company that you spotted that was a small company that sells reclaimed electronics.
Something
okay.
Like that. Helps with maintenance, I think, from the memory. About the
maintenance. Maintenance. Now you've seen this on a bulletin board, just on like an advertising in the port, basically, Port Victoria, and this company is for sale. The owner wants to sell the company. It's for sale for 250,000 credits. Now, it's got a 90,000 credit turnover.
Yes.
Per year.
Yes.
And 35,000 credits of running costs.
Okay, very well. Amazing. Thank you very much, because this reminds me as a player that I had actually very strong, like, now Reytar has very strong interest in actually disrupting the trade, because just 5% wasn't that much of an interest. Reytar was more interested in financial direct gain.
Yeah, but if you sell a million, if you have 1 million credits worth of stuff, and you would get 200,000 for it. Now you're getting 250,000.
You see, Reytar is very familiar with the fact that we are doing a ship heist, and it might just happen that we will have to dodge this planet as a team and won't be able to maybe trade with it as much. but business is something which could potentially still be there, even if we are not directly trading with the planet. This was one of the Reytar's concern, and that's why he wanted something financial, like directly financial involved, rather than promise of friendship or promise of better trade deal
Yep.
or whatnot. And this
So
was
do you want to buy this? Do you want to potentially buy this company, this shop?
definitely,
It's
because
basically like a shop.
definitely because it will add an additional intent for Reytar to actually follow through, and I would like to make it as a personal investment. I don't have 250,000 on me, but I would like to borrow from the ship kitty and probably don't
Now,
tell the crew.
did you take the money, the costs of the ship kitty on the ship sheet? Did you? Let me just get a beer. Did you deduct that because you might have it in some notes somewhere or on an
I would
X?
normally, like, whatever I had to deduct, I always deduct it because I wrote it down.
Okay. Let me just get my beer. There we go. Oh, I get this Beer 52 subscription.
Is it the same thing you had when I was in Hayfel? There was like some subscription you had.
Maybe I've had it for a while, and I've saved what looked like the best two for last. What's this here? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I've saved like the best two for last.
To Dark Knight base, didn't we, or something like that? There was. Where do we store our money?
Ships. PC ships. Dark Knight base. Finances.
We moved cargo there, definitely.
Cargo's there, but your finances are probably all on the common. If you look on the Harrier, common funds 1,157,217.
Okay, fair enough. Now everything that definitely I had to deduct at the time, whatever we discussed during session, I used to write down in Excel, and I would deduct by the end of the session. So
okay.
if it was an Excel, I can't just close Excel and unsave it. So I definitely deducted it.
Okay.
Definitely.
So you've got that. So what's your personal? What money have you got? What personal money have you got?
I've got 160k, so I would like to borrow 100k for personal reasons there.
Okay, so take that out of the common funds, and we're going to assume that the rest of the guys, well, they're not here, are they?
They're not here.
They're not here. So what would they say if they were here? They'd say yes.
Know about it.
I don't know.
Okay, so this company is it's owned by a guy called Lumagia Rassi, and it's his own company. He's built it from scratch. It's a company called Lumatron.
Nice.
Lumatron, yes, and they basically techs on him and his techs who work there. They refurbish old tech and either refurbish it or they make new tech. So it's kind of recycling, basically.
And it's directly involved with how many, and its business is correlating in terms of size, in terms of the turnover. It's correlating with how many ships are using spaceport. Correct? Because that's the fundamental thing, Mike. I'm sorry to being annoying, but if it's a like Reytar kind of session, Reytar is looking for something specific for a business which correlates with the trade volumes and space or spaceport usage on the planet. Because to have a personal intention of disrupting trade, he was looking for a project. It's something if you know in advance. If you know in advance that war is going to unfold, you are going to invest in food market. If you know in advance that ships are going to be starting to use spaceport, you want to invest. It's just doesn't matter the size. What's important is principle. Using of the knowledge of the upfolding events which Reytar is pushing for. That's the
concept. So tell me what, because that was my misunderstanding of what you wanted. Okay, so I think that was maybe a chat that came about from the guys.
Yeah.
We could tweak this what I've got written down here because it's not kind of written in stone.
Mm-hmm.
There is a company that's for sale for 250,000 with this 90,000. The numbers are solid.
No, doesn't matter.
But what is it that this company? So you tell me what this company does.
I would like this company. So
Tell me what it does.
I mentioned, okay,
not even what you like. Tell me what it does.
I love it because it's a perfect company and it will fit narrative very well. What's the difference between the spaceport and the landport? There is huge difference. Spaceport has got slightly limited space. It has got cargo space where cargo is kind of stored and unloaded, but mostly I think a place which storage space on a spaceport is quite expensive because it's kind of this more rich, more developed area, whereas on the landport there are warehouses surrounding.
It's not very big. The land port is not as developed as the.
It's not as developed, and that's the principle. Because the more developed the place is, the more expensive the storage space there is. Okay. Land port, on the other hand, has got those hangars. Lately, probably like there's water probably dripping through the roofs. They're probably half of the time they're empty because there's no much business going on.
Is it storage? Is it cargo warehousing then?
Cargo warehousing, like similar to what we had in. Sorry, what was the name where you play this French guy? Seven Seas.
Yep.
Do you remember there was this kind of storage area, and I know that this company is providing storage and logistics for ships when they unload goods which are meant for final like business on a planet. They don't directly ship goods from the spaceport to the factory where they're going to be processed and then returned for further sale, or for example pesticides for farming. They're not going from the spaceship to the farm. They're going through this warehousing where a company which owns one of the local warehouses also provides, and it's very normal in this industry, provides local logistics. Like it's not a logistics company in the sense of DHL. It's like a local freight for spaceport. And the more goods there are in a spaceport moving in and out of the spaceport launch pod from the spaceship to the final destinations, the more is going through this warehouse.
Okay. So let's say this guy's company, Lumagia Rasi, this company is called Lumagistics.
Yes.
Lumagistics, and he's got like these warehouses and maybe
one warehouse,
one warehouse, yeah, one warehouse, and maybe some
like few guys,
with
maybe a freight truck,
trucks,
few maybe two kind of trucks. It's local. It's just spaceship
it's
comes.
Not a big thing.
And you know what it reminds? Okay, here's a picture. Because spaceships are so rare, when spaceship lands on a planet to conduct any trade, those guys like Lunagistics and other companies, they line up similar to how, sorry, but it's a picture, how when Americans are driving by the by the bus stop and just calling in some and there's lots of people waiting for a job, like handyman people, mostly immigrants from Mexico. They're kind of just waiting, and American guy just picks up, okay, you and they're like yes, we got the business. It's kind of that thing where this guy lines up with all the rest and just hopes, because the demand is so low, they just hope, and they can't sell their house because it's probably is not even worth that much. He just hopes that this ship will just choose, okay, you bring this out to your warehouse and then we will let you know where it goes further. It's kind of very low, like.
We'll say that you've been doing that before this meeting. Okay.
That's important for Reytar.
Parallel to your kind of work. Do you want to meet do you want to just buy this company? Do you want to just buy this?
I want to buy it. It's a sign of it's a sign of a personal attachment to the project which I have in this area. It's not really going to change the financial life of our team or my personal. It's a sign of attachment. It doesn't matter how much it costs.
So you've bought this company, 250,000, and there is a system I have somewhere. I'll dig it out before our next session, and I'll let you know.
Yes.
What the return would be on that value, and we'll inflate it. We'll inflate it if what you want comes off. Yeah. Now, you're in this meeting.
Yes.
Let's take you to the governor's.
Now I'm going to fight for it.
Let's take you to the governor's office. Where is it? Here we go. Let's go to the governor's office. Can you see that?
I can see that. It's like my future office.
We've got we have got yourself. We've got Emeralda. Oh, not done a token for her. Doesn't matter. Let's not do it. Let's not put her on. We've got the governor. Not even got a token for him. Doesn't matter. Something I should have done. We've got you.
And I'm ready. And now I'm ready. Now I have everything in my hands.
Yeah, we've got the governor sat there in his chair there. Charles Dance. We've got Emeralda Fisher. We've got our union rep, threatening that this thing could actually get a lot bigger. This thing could go worse. And we've got you. What you saying to her? What are you saying to her?
I'm saying I work day and night to get you guys paid. Unfortunately, after picking up the name of the guy, I should have opened it earlier.
Which guy? The governor.
One whose job I took.
Oh, it was Lewis Howe, wasn't it? Lewis. Yeah.
Unfortunately, when Lewis was fired for, I can only assume what for, but I heard for misuse of finance. I think he parted on a bad terms, and I can only assume that as a sign of revenge, he misused a bit of finance, and also broke some processes. And in our perfectly balanced mechanism, a few broken processes, a few people moved between positions, changing their roles, it just affects so much. I work day and night to get things back on track, and as soon as I do, and unfortunately I'm way even too busy to come up with this problem about how Lewis left his business to me. But once I fix this, my next goal would be to come and discuss this situation in details and see what we can do in the future to maybe prosecute Lewis for what he has done.
So nice, very nice. One of the things that you has kind of happened is that
always blame
because
the
of
employee.
it's it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Yeah, it was a great idea. Basically, this catering disruption.
Yes.
And it's threatening to spread, and it means that a lot of the restaurants and bars can't open.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because traffic is like you can land, but you can't eat.
Yes.
And like people are like, what the fuck? What shit? So they're going down to the downport basically. Now this has led to can you roll a 1d6 for us, Reytar?
I have an amazing idea. I think it's amazing. Let's see.
3. Okay, this has led to a 30% increase in traffic to Port Amalgo.
Right.
Yeah, 30% increase in traffic to Port Amalgo.
Nice.
But the problems is the port. Sorry, the dogs are barking their heads off because they're giddy because it's dinner time. The problem is that the downport, Port Amalgo, it's not really set up for a sudden 30% increase in traffic.
Nice.
So waiting times are longer. People are getting there's a bit of lack of infrastructure to cope with. Suddenly, everyone's really busy on the downport. The captains of the ships are getting frustrated. They're swearing, and you know what? It's all over the news.
It's amazing because there's like obviously lots of businesses which can be invested and so on, but I know how I will deal with Port Amalgo. What's important is here I say in this meeting, I say, but you know what? I managed to locate. I know there is an issue with food, and I think with my team we discussed priorities on what's most important to get people back on a spaceport, and one of the priorities we heard is food. Like we know that people can um, attend our high port, but they can't eat, and we think it's one of the priorities to bring at least some people back. Unfortunately, as of now, because of Louis, we can't fund all the people. But Amanda, I'm
Everilda.
Emeralda. What Emeralda?
Everilda, you fucking dick. What she says.
Well, sorry. Okay. Oh,
You
I need to drink water.
She calls you pencil neck. Everilda pencil neck.
Everilda. Okay.
Everilda.
But Everilda, I am going to work day and night to make sure that all your employees are paid. But as a priority, I suggest I will go and work out, and maybe we can open at least one place. Maybe I can pay at least few people, so that we open at least one place. Would this be at least a positive trend which you would agree to? And I would look as absolutely willing to help Guy, because I have got a plan.
Right. I think what we're going to do here, we're going to do an opposed deception check. Right. So you're going to make a deception roll, and she's going to see if she susses that you're full of shit. Amazing. And we're going to see who gets the biggest effect.
Well, I'm kind of trying to convince her in opposite of what I need. So technically, just because I failed deception roll,
but you're also trying to blame Lewis, aren't you?
Yeah, I wonder if she sees that I'm full of shit and blaming Louis, though.
She might do. She might suss that you want to. She might suss that you want to something. So, what's your deception skill?
Deception is 0. Carouse won't work.
Carouse definitely won't work. We're not in a bar now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, untrained skill.
Okay, you've not got deception.
I thought I had, but streetwise, steward science. Okay. It's strange that I don't have persuade. I do have persuade though.
No, it was deception. Okay, let's see what she rolled.
Two. I rolled 2.
Yeah. Okay. She just kind of looks at you. Her eyes kind of narrow. She's like, "It's funny that you should say that about Lewis."
Right.
Because I just had lunch with him this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Lewis go back a long time. I mean, a long, long time. We're good friends. It's funny why he didn't suddenly, this man that I've known for 15 years,
right,
suddenly decides out of the fucking blue to screw off all his old work colleagues. Doesn't make sense.
Emeralda, completely on the same
page. Everilda,
sorry. I need her. I need her character. Everalda. We are on the same page here. I understand that it may sound unusual. Unfortunately, I wasn't the one participating in decision making, and unfortunately, the way I inherited this department is the way it currently is. You can imagine it's not in my interest in my first 2 weeks of job to just fuck things up. I would say that it makes a bit of sense if he parted on the bad terms to set me up and potentially caused these issues. And also, Everalda, I'll tell you a story of there was a guy I knew for 10 years, and I never knew it. I never could see it coming. But he turned out to be a fan of Aslan's, and I just learned about it a week ago. How do you think I felt? Sometimes things happen. I'm sorry.
She just kind of stares at you, and then she just turns to the governor and she says, "Sort it out, or my members, the strike's going to spread." And she just kind of storms out. The governor sits back in his chair, and he kind of looks at you and says, "Sort it out." What's your name to him? Are you going by the name of Reytar?
I'll go by the name of Reytar because I think I'm not the worst administrator. And
what's your surname?
Kavalan. Can I just double check? I think
Is that what you're going to be called, Reytar Kavalan? To him?
Think the crime rate has been. Can you remind me, please, Mike, what's going on with my crime and awareness of other people about my identity? Because I changed my portrait, and I think there was some steps which I took, unless it's something very specific.
You changed your face, and you paid the guy well to basically tell no one.
And there was something else about, I believe, about that only like best scanners or something like that could in theory identify me. And going by the name of Reytar Kavalan wouldn't take me to risk position. That's what I recall, though. I can't be sure about that.
Yeah, they I guess where you are wanted is just the next system along, isn't it? It's just one jump. It's a week's travel away.
Yeah.
It's one jump. Cordan.
Yeah.
You are wanted for crime there by the port authorities and by the mob.
Yeah.
They are looking for someone else, but they are looking for someone called Reytar Kavalan.
They are looking for Reytar Kavalan. In this case, I'm Trainer Mamelan. No one could see that coming.
Trainer Mamelan.
Trainer Mamelan.
So the governor sort of sits back in his chair and he steeples his fingers, and he just kind of looks at you like very seriously. Mamelan, and everyone's called by a surname. He doesn't excuse. Mamelan, sort it out. And I'm looking at you now. There's a lot of money riding on this. Do a good job. I can see you doing very well here.
Yes, sir. We'll do my best.
Okay. So we're gonna end that scene. A few hours later or days later, and there's been some.
I have got a follow-up action, to be honest. Sorry.
Okay, tell me. No, tell me.
I will go.
Go to sleep.
So this high port, it has got multiple restaurants, I imagine.
I'll show you. I've got a rough map of the port, actually.
What?
Okay, I'll tell you straight away what my idea is.
Yeah, go on.
My idea
Hey,
is
it's
like
now anyway, so we'll
a
sort it in the
restaurant
morning.
which everyone used to hate, like the one, like imagine if like it was like pizza, sushi, and I don't know, English breakfast. You know, like no one would eat an English breakfast. It's just like there are always like this place, in my opinion, in a real kind of airport where like people like to eat tasty food, and there's like this place which is like everyone hates because it's overpriced and food is shit, like this kind of place. And what I would do, I would sacrifice part of the plan for a bit of alibi. I will pay employees of the worst restaurant. So I won't pay all the employees by any means, but I'll pay to the employees of the worst restaurant, like they're worst there, like the most overpriced and shit. And I will send a follow-up note to both of those people who attended Esmeralda and Governing Committee.
Mhm.
I'll say, as of now, as promised during the meeting, I have managed to cover expenses of one place based on my colleague based on my colleague's suggestion of what was the most popular place for food, hoping it will sort a little bit of our problem if we bring at least one restaurant up back to work. Probably as a player, I expect probably it will cause a bit of traffic back to the high port, but I picked the shittest restaurant, and I want the overall strike to keep going on. So I'll just
Yeah. So you're not. Are you going to get everyone paid?
no, definitely not. But I specifically paid. I said that I pretend I don't understand that. I specifically wired salaries to like 10 people working in this shit restaurant.
Just pay a few people.
Just pay a few people. Like also to cause a bit of a friction there.
Okay. So out of the 45,000 people who work there, and probably the 1,000 who work in catering and
1,000, yeah. I paid
cleaning.
like 10.
You pay 10 people
20,
who work
20,
in a really
20, the one which covers
Yeah.
restaurant, yeah.
Work in this really shitty restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
Eckaft, you get a message from Eckaft.
Right.
Promising. So let's bring Eckaft up. Close that down. Close that down. Where's our handouts? For Amalgo, where is Eckaft? He's not there. Victoria. He is at Aslan. You know what? I really need to have a better system, I think, for this.
As someone who is in your hands, Mike, all I can say is you have the best system in the world.
Where is he? Eckaft the Aslan.
Did Reytar get 1 billion credits or did he not? This is like a proper ass kiss, like proper.
Here he is. Shows to players. Right, there he is.
Yes.
Eckaft the Aslan. Yeah, so he's come onto a com link for you with you. And he's like a promising start, Reytar. We've seen a significant increase in traffic to the port. They're bringing their ships, and more importantly, they're bringing their money. I approve of your actions so far. I'm going to need you to take that position full time, so that you continue to further our goals. But let me warn you, trust no one up there. Port Victoria is a nest of vipers. There are eyes everywhere.
Is it a secure communication channel as far as Reytar knows?
Yeah, it's a secure link.
Okay, I will say Eckaft. As per our agreement, I'm happy to continue diverting traffic to the planet. However, as someone who is, business-wise, I will tell you that for this success to be capitalized, there is some work which has to be done on a land port. There is an urgency in improving quality of service, reducing the wait times, and cleaning up the place so that it becomes not just business attractive, but human attractive. I know you don't care about those things, but if you'd like to make things right, that's the way to do it. I could help you with that. But I can't be at both places at the same time.
We can talk about that at some point.
There is a little bit shortage of time for conversation because every day, as of now, becomes valuable. I kindly ask you to assign one business-wise human from a circle you can trust, with whom I could maintain contact, and who will be my counterparty on the land port, with whom I will discuss with whom I will be possibly distant management, Akaft. I'll organize some distant management of land port improvement.
What about your friend? What about your friend? What's his name? What's the guy you shot called?
Oh, nice. I want him to be in this position because he's weak-willed. I will dominate him like there's no tomorrow. Let me just.
What was his name again? Now.
It was very. I'm trying to find him. Journal. Rusia. It was 60 something. 61. Kiagi.
What about? And he just kind of like he's totally oblivious to the fact that there might have been like he might have hated each other. He says, "What about Kiagi? You seem to get on with him so well." Well, you tried to shoot him.
I don't think we hate each other.
He says, what about Kiagi? You seem to get on so well.
Kiagi, yes. We can work. Can you mention to him, just to maintain subordination, that he should be following my orders on the land port? And the only reason why is because I know when to expect increase in traffic, so that since I know the upcoming increases in traffic, which may or may not come in waves, depending on how I manage to work things out here, I'll need certain sets of actions at certain times. For that to happen, we need to establish subordination. If you could let this, let Kiagi know about this, we will make sure that not only we increase the traffic, but we will also maintain it, which is more important.
Okay. He just grunts. Don't know what that means.
Done deal then.
Sounds like it,
I'll pretend it's a yes. Done deal then. I'll reach out to Kiagi.
Okay. It's going to take a few days, isn't it? Like, we've already spent 4 days from when you altered the data to the meeting of the trouble and the sort of protests, the demonstrations, the strikes. Can you roll 2d6 for me? Because these strikes are now rolling on.
Amazing. But did Akaft call me before those 2 days, few days, or did he call me? Did he call me right after the meeting, like the next day?
Yeah, let's say it's the next day after the meeting.
Is it worth then me speaking to Kiagi first before we roll time forward? Because I want him to start taking actions on land.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we can do that.
If possible, because that's the sequence of events. I want to make sure that Kiagi.
Yeah, let me just see if I can find his picture here.
I have his picture.
Oh, you got him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 61 in Aruncia library.
System data, Aruncia. 61. Ah, yeah, here he goes. Try to not be too.
I'll be like calling him, and I'll be like before he says hello or so. Is it a video call then?
It's up to you.
I'd like it to be a video call.
Yeah. So it clicks on, and he's like, and he just kind of looks at the screen, and he like double takes, and he's like, he just says Moonma when he answers Moonma, and then he sort of double takes, and he sort of goes, "Oh,
Kiagi, long time no see."
It's you.
How are you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm all right.
Okay. I hope you had a note from our common friend. Did he reach out to you? I'll be eating and I'll be like eating during our call. Like there's not a big deal going on, like casual.
Yes. I spoke to him.
Good. In this case, Kiagi, you know that there is a certain set of actions which I would like you to do on a land port. to capitalize on some positive news which we all are working towards. Are you working towards this, Kagi, as much as I do?
Well, Lord Aircraft has told me to try and be as helpful as possible, so
very well.
Here I am, being as helpful as possible.
Very well. I knew we had a rough patch, but I had to. I'm a man of actions, and you can see that my actions leads to results. So I hope we could. And actually, Reytar is having a bit of existential crisis. And when he says it, he's not excited. He's like, you can see my actions lead to results, and that's all I care about, Kiagi. So, I can expect that there are issues with how our new guests on the land port are being managed. There are several aspects I'd like to touch on. I think there are issues on the food supply in a spaceport. I think spaceport haven't seen increase in traffic for a while, and a few places are closed. I know it's not possible to get all businesses up and running in a matter of days, but what I would like you to do, Kiagi, is to do you have farmer markets there in the city?
Farmer markets?
Yeah, like places where people sell. Yeah, Kiagi, could you please organize like a clean area, put down some stalls, and invite people from farmer market to those stalls, free of charge, of course, at the cost of the spaceport, as well as provide them with some a few credits for their participation, so that people who are in the queues for food at currently closed or overly booked restaurants, cafes, they can at least buy a snack or so, like just something to eat. I'd like a place to get just more food supply. Could you do that, Kiagi?
Is there some money associated with this in case it costs?
I don't think there is a particular expense which we are looking for. If you think about it, there is definitely an undersupply of food in a spaceport, and queues are high. So any business which starts selling food in a spaceport is likely to make money. I believe the issue which this spaceport was having is that there were not enough organized space for entrepreneurs to start selling food. In this case, I think market stalls will just make the job right. People will be interested to come and sell their food at a place where there are queues for food. What do you think, Kagi? Can you connect those 2 points?
Yeah, okay, we'll close the door. Laura? That's okay. He says, okay. So you just want me to kind of like set these markets up and encourage them to be functioning.
Yeah, just go to the market and let people know that there are no stalls available and there are queues of people hungry for food. I'm pretty sure it will sort itself out. It's like how economy works, Kiagi.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just overly patronizing just for the sake of it.
Brilliant. I love it. Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, okay, like
because we don't have time to open up proper cafes and restaurants. That's all I can think
about. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll see what I can do.
There's another thing, Kiagi. So this is one of the problems, and we want to make sure that captains and crews and all those people who come and trade with the landport now, they eat. But also what we want is to make sure that goods are being managed right. There is this company I heard a lot about, like positive things, called Luna Logistics.
Lumagistics. Lumagistics.
Lumagistics. I know they can do the right thing. Could you make sure that they I know they're one of the most efficient company. The other time I was trading, Kagi, do you know that I'm a trader? Do you? The last time I was trading, like I had an excellent service there, excellent service. Could you make sure that this company is getting the most valuable customers, so that they get the most pleasant experience on the trading, and they keep on coming back to use this land port and this company as a consequence. Just make sure that they get the service for their goods. We don't
Sort of
want
right. So
we don't want
you're right.
goods to be lost, and I guarantee you, Kiagi, this company won't steal any goods.
Okay,
I know
so
them.
you're
I
right.
trust them.
He writes it down. Logistics. Okay. Logistics.
Good.
Okay.
Be back in a couple of days. Looking forward, sir. Just after the I'll call him sir, just because I felt like sorry.
Okay. Right, Reytar. Andrew, can you roll me 2d6? Let's see what happens with this strike.
Yes.
7. Okay. Workers from another department join the strike in solidarity, further disrupting station operations and putting pressure on the administration. As promised, Everilda's strike has expanded. Things are starting to get a bit it's just starting to kind of hot up a little bit.
Good.
This takes, let's just roll a d6, see how many days that takes. Oof, that's the next day.
Amazing.
People aren't paid, and like that
but
night
20 people are paid.
20 people
and
are paid, but like hundreds of people aren't paid.
And you know what I would like to do? Is I would like to pay those 20 people again.
Okay.
Is this
okay?
just out of curiosity, is this place? So how do they manage this relationship between them? Do those 20 people agree to open up the place, or do they like receive money and tell nobody? You tell me, Mike. Is this very difficult situation? I think when 20 people out of 1,000 getting paid.
Do they open it up? Do they cross the picket line? Are they going to cross the picket line?
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll. I'm going to make a roll for this. Let's see if they cross the picket line. They're going to have to be quite brave to cross a picket line of angry people who have not been paid. Even though they've been paid, no one knows they've been paid.
But those 20 people know. Did they let others know that they were paid to open up this place? So
Do they tell
that's
people?
What I want to. I would like you not to like tell me how they interact. This group of paid people. Imagine like real strike, and some people are getting paid. And you know what? I pay them double. I like make from my side. I'm like trying to make sure that they're compensated.
Okay. So I've made some tables, you see.
Right.
I've made some tables on what kind of happens with this. They open up the restaurant.
Yes.
Yes, they cross through the picket lines, and it just kind of like causes increased anger and agitation because the security police are forced to protect them.
Nice.
The security police are forced to protect these workers who cross the picket lines, and there are some bottles thrown.
Nice.
And there's a kind of increased kind of anger.
But
this
those
is
20
like
people work now.
They're now at work, yeah.
And can I just double check that there are some visitors of the spaceport who now attend this shitty restaurant and eat there?
Yeah, it's full. It's the only place you can get a meal.
Nice. And I would like to do this amazing thing, like Mike, almost like I do it my entire life, is I would like to send a report upwards, like to my manager, a photo report of this full restaurant and say it was difficult, and I will pretend I don't understand that it causes more friction. But I was like, I had this meeting. I was told I need to secure the situation, and as a first action, we agreed with the government and the head of the protests that we will open at least one restaurant. I'll send a photo of this place and I'll say, I'm happy to report that we opened up one place already. We are still working on paying everyone, but as a temporary action, we will keep opening place after place to make sure that people have some food, because that's critical. We can't just wait until everyone is hungry in the starport. We have to keep opening places, and that's what I will report like it as an achievement.
Okay, can you roll for me 2d6?
Thanks God, those are not skills I'm rolling. Although I do want to roll some administration just for
No,
fun.
you've rolled that one already. Roll it again, please. Oh, no, actually don't. You don't have to roll it again. It's fine. There's a bit of a health crisis going on. Now, due to the lack of catering services, several
Did people
crew
get
members...
poisoned in this food restaurant? So because it was a shitty restaurant, did they
Well,
get poisoned with this shitty food?
We don't really know, but the news is coming through here. I mean, I'm just getting this news. This news is just coming in, and as I get the news, you're getting the news. There's been, because due to the lack of catering services, several crew members from bulk freighters that have docked have fallen ill from consuming expired rations, and it's escalated the urgency of resolving the strike. Can you roll a d6, please? Oof. Okay, so all this is going to take 6 days to kind of like, for like nothing happens, there's food coming in, and then suddenly, bump, people are like dropping like flies over like a day or two of people getting like stomach bugs.
Only one restaurant was open.
Only one restaurant is open. People are consuming stale and like ration packs and like the supplies are going down. Actually, now because we did say that the strike was escalating. Now the dockers union have come out on strike, and they've placed an embargo on any food products coming up from the planet.
Nice. Can I just double check with you if this, during those days which we are currently discussing, the planet is getting an increase in arrivals or not?
Yes. Roll a d6 for me.
I'm not trying to squeeze in here, but you know, we are kind of full-on role-playing.
Well, you know what? At the beginning, when you started the strike, things 30%. Were up 30%, 50% up, 50% up.
Is it compound percents? Is it like 50% on 1.3?
No.
Or it's okay, fine. I was trying to squeeze those compounds. You can't blame.
I'm making a note of this. The 30% increase, and then it's a sort of 50% increase on what you would normally expect.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem is that the city is on the planet. They're really struggling to cope with that kind of capacity. But like the place is heaving, the place is buzzing. There's like loads of ships going down. There's people waiting. The ship's kind of hanging around in orbit, waiting for a docking bay.
Before I proceed further with the spaceport, I would like to catch up with Kagi. I'd zoom him and I'd be like, my man! And like, no positive expression, like, my man, how have you been? Have you done everything we discussed?
Yeah, markets have been, that market you wanted has been massive, like places heaving. There's been parties, there's people who've come in from the country to sell their products. They've set up these kind of impromptu markets selling, wet goods and cooked stuff, and like it's really, really heaving.
Right.
What the fuck is what's going on up there? It sounds like, I mean, we're getting it on the news. It sounds like a right kind of mess.
Well, can't share much details. It's kind of the boss privilege. I'll just throwing those things in, Mike. I'm sorry. It's kind of the have to keep things, a bit secret, even from you, KR Games. Sorry, I'll tell you, as someone who has been really helpful to my actions, I will obviously tell you a lot, like when I get out of this mess. But main thing is, has demand on you had some closed cafes, haven't you, over a couple of years in a spaceport area because of the low demand, have you?
Yeah, it's not been tough though.
Is there now any interest in kind of opening up those places? Have people have business been trying to get into
Yes. Some of them have reopened up, and the places sort of like suddenly, like it's like an injection of life, like it's just suddenly like come alive, like it's really fucking busy down here.
Okay, good. Is this logistics
Trainer?
Is this? I think he knows my name. I think he knows.
Does know your name, actually. Yeah. He does know your name. Yeah.
Is this Logistics? Is it handling most valuable clients? Is it doing?
I mean, things are busy. Things are busy. It's hard to keep. It's hard. It's all a bit of a wild west down here. Like it's hard to kind of keep track. But I mean, I'll put them onto a good contract, and I think things seem to be going pretty well for them. We're just gonna. I just need to send them to the loop.
Good.
Just give me a second, Andy.
I'll think ahead of some ideas.
Yes.
Mickey, I'm trying to make all the money possible. I'm squeezing them from Mike as much as possible for the team.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm kind of sort of zoning in and out a little bit, but yeah, it's I can hear the craftsmanship in the hustle. So
you can finally afford these shiny weapons.
yeah, that's it. Interesting. It's one of those things. So to be fair, we've got a wicked spaceship. I suppose that it's doing up the ship, so there's always a need to buy fuel. When the ship gets damaged, fuck me, it's expensive. So it's one of those things. We've got the better, really.
I'm very excited about this session. I feel a bit guilty for taking an entire session for myself, but to be honest, I finally play Reytar the way I dreamt it like for years. Like I'm finally getting the Reytar out of myself and separating those two. Finally.
I want you to just make another 2d6 roll, please.
Yeah. One thing I would like to. Doesn't matter if it affects the game or results or not, but naturally, Reytar would want to. Obviously, I left a manager or someone who has been managing this Logistics. I would like to double check with him that Maggie didn't lie to me and that they are getting great contracts coming up.
No. Yeah, you've got one of your guys. One of the guys. He reports back and says, "We're fucking rammed. We've had to take new staff on."
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that they're doing that because with this increased demand, they can't just stay this local company. I'll also tell them if you can come across like an empty warehouse or just any expansion options, just keep fucking expanding, because this thing, right? No one knows it. Everyone will probably think it's just like the way it's going to stay. No, it's just going to keep fucking increasing. So you better keep investing. Like borrow some money from the bank, just keep on buying those properties for additional storage, keep on hiring staff, because this is going to stay there. Don't tell anyone.
Okay. Yes, boss.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it affects or not. I'm just rolling there.
Okay, so just roll 2d6 for me.
7. I think I rolled 7 before.
Roll 7 again. Just roll it again for me.
Do you want me to roll exactly 7 for you again? Yeah. 8. Do you want me to re-roll it?
It's okay. I'm just going to go down to the next thing on the list because which is quite funny actually. Riots.
Nice.
Tensions. This riot has now these protests, these strikes have now been going on for 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 11 days.
Yeah.
okay, the situation's getting pretty desperate. There's a riot. Tensions are boiled over, and there's a riot broken out in that restaurant that you mentioned. Yeah, basically it's between the people who were working and the people who are sort of on the picket line, and the people going in to try and eat.
Yeah.
So someone's pushed someone, and the fucking place has just gone boom.
Nice.
Security forces have intervened, and there've been injuries and arrests.
Okay, maybe what Reytar thinks. Obviously, I'm up for maximum damage, but I have to be also careful if it can backfire me. I would like to reassess the situation, and by that I'm mostly interested in, I do actually have money on how long will it, if I'm willing to pay everyone everything which is due, how long will it take me in kind of game? Hours, days, minutes? Like, is it like as simple as pressing a button, or is it as complex as getting someone to get money from another department to wire transfer it? Like, just give me an estimate. You don't have to be very specific.
I guess it won't take too long.
Like an hour or so.
Yeah, I guess it it's just a case of like just an hour.
And that, just double check. Do those departments, they generally have like a schedule for work, right?
Yes.
I would imagine like a day like work day or whatever. So in the middle of the night, basically in the middle of the time where no one is working, like literally everyone knows that there is like departments are closed, I will sit with, will I do it myself? I think I'll do it myself. I will pay to everyone 2 days worth of this, but not, I'll pay 2 days worth of their salary out of, we are about 3 weeks in, right?
We're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days.
2 weeks, 11 days. 2 days worth of salary, and I'll pay 5 times the amount. Like, I'll pay 2 weeks worth of salary to those 20 people, and if I can make a report upwards, I will say I managed to start getting things on track. It's not much, but we squeezed 2 days worth of salaries. Unfortunately, I also heard that people who actually put their, how I would phrase it, I'd say people who actually put this conflict behind and decided to serve food to our fellow passengers, I heard they were injured. So as a like, they were in danger for doing what's right for our place, and I had to additionally compensate them for the fears and risks which they taken, and I hope that unless everyone decides to go back to work, I hope at least those people feel compensated to keep on feeding our visitors. Being aware of the fact, funny enough, that this is the worst restaurant, and it's definitely not enough to feed everyone, but that's the thing.
Right, I've just found.
It's going to run out of food, by the way, isn't it? Because of the.
Oh yeah. The cargo embargo. I mean, there's some ships are coming in.
I don't know about it.
Yeah, this is stuff. Yeah, the docking embargo. So like the situation's gone. Suddenly, it's gone. It's turned really, 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 really dodgy. I've got a map here for you.
Yes.
Which is the Port Victoria rough kind of schematic.
Yeah.
Where you've got the circular docking bay.
Yeah.
Region, and then you've got arrivals, departures, the central plaza, and the sort of this area on the right is at the base of the shaft, so to speak. And then there's habitats and residential and business stuff going up and up and up and up. That's what I was looking for before. You're doing all this work. You've sort of just paid people and whatnot. And there's like a bing bong. Mamalan, please, do you have a moment? This is Governor Jores. Do you have a moment, Mamalan? There's something I just could do with your help here.
Yes, sir. Just finishing paying up those protesters. All I could squeeze in. Finishing up this salary payments. Actually, I will mention it like. Okay, hold on. Let me be specific. I'll say, yeah, just finishing up payment to protesters. And once it's done, I'm. Do you want me to come to your place?
Yes, if you just come to my office.
Happy to do so, sir. And I'm going up.
Okay. So you can see on that map, if you've still got that schematic up, his office is over in the APA admin, which is in the top right corner, and you'll be staying, if you were at your apartment, you'd be in the sort of hotels.
But I was at the workplace at this moment, middle of the night when no one is working.
Okay.
I was in the office working, paying those 2 days work.
Okay. Well, actually, there's always someone working because there's no there's always someone working. This place is run 24 hours a day. Shift work because space is at a premium, so you don't have offices empty here. Okay. Like there's always someone working. Okay, so you head up to his office. And you walk in, and he sort of stands up, and he reaches over, and he sort of shakes your hand really warmly, and he's like,
"I'm fucked. I'm so fucked."
And he's like, "Mamalan, is everything? You have to forgive me at the moment. I'm a little bit. You'll be aware of the sort of strikes and the troubles we've been having. I've not really had a chance to kind of sit and talk to you properly. Is everything? How's it all going for you here? Have you got everything you need?"
Let me think for a second, please, because I really want to get away alive from the situation. I really want to. I want Reytar to see the profits. Hold on. Yes and no, sir. Yes and no. I've been giving my reports to the upper management. I don't know if they reported upward. We know you are busy with really important things. I've been giving reports to the upper management. We managed to get some things done. Among them was opening up at least one place so that we could fulfill basic needs of some of the guests. As of now, managed to find finances for all protesters already. Not the entire sum we owe, but we hope it will bring tension down. That's the positives, sir. The positives.
Nearly 2 weeks this has been going on now, Mamalan. It's not good.
I'm with you here. Sir.
I'm worried, Mamalan. And he puts his arm around you. And he's like, he stands up from his desk and he comes round and he puts his arm around you and he's like, "Mamalan, I'm worried. I'm worried that this Lewis Howe, he's left us with a big mess to clear up." And he sort of like taps you on the shoulder and he says,
"So dead. Wait, Mike, don't put more tension. I'm already like."
He says,
"I have got my heart pounding." I don't like it.
I want you to handle this, sorting this issue out. I want you to handle it personally. And he reaches over to his desk and he just presses a little button. Beep. And the door to his office opens. And there's three gentlemen stood in this doorway. There. We have this police sergeant. His face is a bit of a mass of scars and kind of weird, thickened, kind of gnarly skin.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of police wearing kind of flat jackets. And he puts his arm around you and he says, I've asked the Port Authority police to just kind of clear a few things up. If you would just go with them and answer some of their questions, I'm sure you can help them sort it all out. And then you were escorted away from the office. And you were taken to...
It seems like everything was coming down to that, hasn't it?
You were taken to a police cell.
Wow.
Can you see that police cell there?
I can see this police cell.
Yeah, okay. So you're escorted very politely. Everyone's very, very nice. Here you are, Mr. Mamelan, says the copper, says the sergeant. Please take a seat. Someone will be with you soon. And it's very clean, it's very steel, and it's very uncomfortable. And you have a seat. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait 3 hours.
I was hoping it's not years.
No. And finally, the door opens up, and you're met by two other people. You're met by two other people. They're very nice. They're very polite. Where are they? There's a woman. She introduces herself as DCI Francis Guaro. And there's a man, Agent Tanun Shaku. Mr. Mamelan, if you'd like to just come with us, we've got a few questions for you.
I'm very happy to help.
Actually, she's the one who says it. If you just come with me, Mr. Mamelan, we've just got a few questions for you. There's a few issues we just could really do with you helping. You're not in any trouble. Just got a few issues.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah, I'm sorry you've had to wait in a police cell. It's the only... Things are a bit chaotic. It's the only room we had really free. I'm sure you understand. They take you to out of the corridor, out of the cell, down a sort of corridor, and there's a room. They take you into this room. Let's just take you to the interview room.
which is a torture room. Oh, just a coincidence. It's a torture room. Sorry, we didn't have any other space to question you except in our famous torture room.
Oh, I've not put their tokens on. Never mind. But we've got agents Taron and DCI Francis Gare. I could put them on, but it doesn't matter. We don't really need it. And then you're kind of sat opposite. Why do I keep forgetting to put people's tokens on? Let's put you on. You're sat there. Okay, DCI Francis Gare, she's the one who's sat down.
Mm-hmm.
Then, go away then. I might have to let the dog out in a second. Give me a second. And Agent Taron, he sort of stands behind her and he kind of looks at you. Does not fucking smile. Very, very unfriendly. And she smiles and she's like,
Good call.
Yeah. She sort of has a file in front of her. She sort of places it down. She goes, she turns a little recording device on. Mm-hmm. And she says, for the record, you don't mind if we just record this? Just, just in case. Yes. Just to be clear. Yeah. Just to be clear. Can you state your full name and identification, please?
You can find those in the file.
For the record, please, indulge me.
Yeah, sure. It's Trainer Mamelan, and I would say that my identification number, I guess.
Yeah, you'll have one for the stay. Yeah, okay. And Mr. Mamalan, what is your occupation and affiliation with Import Victoria?
Well, I'm currently employed in the Department of Procurement, where my day and night job is to make sure that I clean up the mess which has happened after previous employee has left things in an uneasy way, which has led to protests, and I keep on trying to sort out this mess by paying employees, by opening up places so that I'm pretty sure you were eating at the place which I managed to open by paying a few people out of the very thin budget. Yeah, this is what I do day and night, and I'm close to a breakthrough. I'm close to finding where those money for the department they were snitched. They were hidden. I'm close to finding it. I'm
Yeah.
pulling up the traces.
Yeah, good luck. Can I ask you, do you have any prior criminal record or history of similar offences?
Not that I'm aware of.
Would you mind if I ask you what you were trying to obtain from the APA Corporation?
Well, I was hoping for a good line on my CV to further down, have a wonderful career, hopefully at this place. Possibly was thinking at proceeding my career at Jedico. Just doing the natural growth within the company. That's where I see myself in 5 years.
Moving to
By the
Jedico.
way, yeah.
Okay. And in terms of your work here at the APA, and in terms of finance and procurement, can you describe the methods you've used in terms of failing to pay people properly, and then paying a small number of people when the finances for correct payment are clearly there? Can you just explain how that happened?
Interesting. Interesting use of phrasing. Sir, what's your name?
Her name is DCI Francis Gear.
DCI
Francis.
Francis.
Yeah, and Agent Taron, he just stands there looking at you with his arms folded.
Yeah, DCI Francis. Interesting use of phrasing, DCI Francis. All I'm aware of is that I was I've been reporting. I've been sending the reports up. I'm not sure if you've seen them, came across them. Is that during the protests, during the first days of protests, all the places were closed, and we were on the brink of the humanitarian crisis because there were no places to eat. So what I believe my achievement is to make sure that we avoid the crisis itself and people can eat. In addition to that, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, just before I have attended it's lucky coincidence, just before I attended the office where you found, where I was invited for this conversation. I'll pretend I'm oblivious to my problem here. I've managed to pay about 20% of the outstanding salaries. And I was hoping I could pay the rest in the near future. I mean, your line of questioning is a bit unusual, but please.
She sort of makes a note of that. Actually, let me just
Mike, I'll be honest with you. I kind of was expecting this, so I have put down as much of soft landing kind of padding as possible. I don't know if I could put more there, but
let me just see if I take those off. Now, if I can put the proper agent Taron. Yes. And DCI. Yeah, because we want the pictures of them, don't we, as they sit facing you. Okay. What was your primary motivation in conducting this espionage?
Which espionage?
The espionage that you've been clearly involved in.
I'm very
It
sorry.
seems to me that you've been involved in some kind of corporate trouble causing.
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that. I'm trying to put a blame on someone here.
Well, I'm saying that you've been involved in some sort of corporate espionage. I'm not quite sure who for yet, but don't worry. We'll find out. I mean, it's easier if you just help us. If you just come tell us everything you know now, things will be a lot easier for you.
I'm very sorry. That's a very serious allegation.
It is. It is. You're right. It is very serious.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have some proof. Would you be willing to share it with me?
We've got your electronic records. We've got your electronic records of you failing to pay people and then paying people randomly. You've got a job. I mean, it's not on your job spec. Pretty sure. And they look at each other and they just start laughing. Like, I don't think it's on this guy's job spec, is it, to kind of do that? I mean, clearly his job spec says to pay people, and then like it's not paid people, and then
right.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
That's a great question. Do you mind if I ask you a very simple question?
No, forget it. We're the ones asking the questions.
Sure.
Let me ask you another question.
Yes, please.
Are you doing all this on your own accord, or are you hired by someone?
I still have no idea what you're talking about. I'm very sorry.
I don't know. Okay.
Mike, just for the record, we are playing an interrogation of an ex, or of a person who used to live in Russia, where where as someone like, because when you kind of support a position or so on, there is like very, very clear instructions of what you should never ever, like, never admit anything in police in Russia, like never ever. Okay. So I'll be honest with you, just because I'm
going to ask the questions anyway.
Please, sorry, I don't want to sound boring,
okay.
But this is like
no. I appreciate. I'm enjoying watching you.
Okay, good.
Okay. Once you if you don't mind me asking,
please.
Once these strikes had gone on and escalated, I mean, what were you hoping to achieve?
Well, how can it be in my interest?
That's what I'm asking you. I don't know.
I mean, is it in your interest to be here then?
I don't even know what you mean by that. I'm just going to, excuse me, Andrew, I just need to let the dog out one second. Yeah. You have a little think about what you might want to say to these people.
I want to survive. Willem, I think you will have, well, yes, I think you'll have to bring ducks and free me out of this jail cell.
Sorry, I've been caught up in a call. Where have you ended up? Where have you
I ended up being interrogated by some officers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up in a jail, so you and ducks have to free me.
Brilliant. So at the end of these
and maybe by doing that I made us like 50,000 credits.
Yeah, it cost us as much to bail you out as you've made in your wheeling.
Well, Mike has really prepared for this session. He knew where it's going.
Yeah, I'm just so I've just what I've been having to deal with while you guys are talking. I've just been I get data from our system, and I slice and dice it, and I've done I've done a bit of sort of BIMI stuff over the years, so I'm kind of quite good at experimental data manipulation. But you need the source data, like you need all of it, so that you can try and spot the patterns and do all of that. And I've just had the lead dev, so he's a new guy. He's not a new guy. He's around, but he's he's straight laced, and I've just said, can you just give me the latest drop of the database? He's like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't think you should have the whole data. And I'm like, I'm literally your fucking boss. Give me the fucking data. But equally, I'm like torn between, he should be that careful. Like, he shouldn't just someone coming to him in the middle of the night saying, give me all the data. He shouldn't just give it to you.
That's true.
So I'm sort of like caught between you fucking, and oh God, you're right. Like, for fuck's sake. So,
You mentioned Power BI, so you do some data analytics as well then?
no, so, well, I've not used Power BI, so I tinkered with it once. I did tinker with it once, but not enough to really become very good at it. Most of my stuff, to be honest, is slicing and dicing in Excel. That's really where I work quite quickly. And then I find what I want and I give that to the BI people and say, now do that properly in a proper associative tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is lots of pretty cool and depending on the language which you're more familiar with, or even without the knowledge of any particular language. For example, like Alteryx, and a few more there actually, like where you can do things, just connect to the database and like. I know Excel slice and dicing is very addictive because it just happens that when you get used to Excel, you kind of keep on doing things in Excel. But once you switch, it's like once you learn how to ride a bicycle, you can't just forget it. And once you switch to kind of proper, just analytical tools, because Excel is an analytical tool as well, but it's very unusual to work with for analytics. But
I used to use Tableau. The problem is those tools are very expensive, and so you kind of, once you don't have them as a free license to play around with anymore, you very quickly have to find. And then it's like, it's just the best.
There is a free one. I heard some of my colleagues started to use in another company. I think is NAS, like maybe not NAS. Something starts with a free analytical tool similar to Alteryx. There is like open source. I think. Sorry, Mike. Just 1 second.
No. It's all right, mate. It's okay. It gives me a minute to kind of like just make sure that we're on.
Microsoft Click IBM Sub. No.
A bit more beer there. Ooh.
So there is one really easy to get into tool called Alteryx, right? But it's paid. It's like it's not Tableau. Tableau is a reporting tool. There are like reporting tools and there are analytical tools. Tableau is like more a reporting tool. Sorry. And for example, Power BI is also more of a reporting tool, not the analytical. But then you can do, for example, if you know Python, I think you can do like analytics with that, or SAS, you can do analytics. Like SAS is a language, but I think also SAS is the interface where you can do it. But they require some language knowledge. But there's things like Alteryx, for example. It doesn't. I promise you, it will take like 10 minutes to be like, okay, wow, it's that easy. It also has a free license if you feel like playing around with. But Alteryx is a paid version, but I know that there are similar versions like Alteryx, which like a graphic SQL, which is even easier than just simple SQL, like 10 times easier, which is free, and I think it starts with N. And yeah, it's amazing. If you want to know more about this, try Alteryx for free and just see how it works, and then search for alternatives. It's really good for data analytics.
Nice one. Awesome. Thank you. In the meantime, I just need to try and get my data set refreshed.
Give me some more questions. Oh no, it's okay. If you've got more.
No, sorry, no.
Okay.
I told that Bill and Dax will need to free me out from jail real soon.
Now, more questions. Let's say there was a break, gone back to your cell, and you were left that you waited for another 3 hours, and they pull you back in, and you sit down, and there's like a quarter of a cup of water there for you. So you're getting a bit tired now.
I'm not drinking it, by the way. I
Mr.
also heard from Russian oppositioners that you should never drink or eat anything in the police. I'm sorry.
Probably right. Probably right. Mr. Mamalan, were there any other individuals, or are there any other individuals or organizations involved in your operation?
With all respect, I'm still not aware of which operation you're talking about. Could you please enlighten me?
The operation where you've been trying to disrupt economic activity at Port Victoria.
Well, sorry, I'm not sure I was involved in that.
Can you provide their names and identification of your accomplices?
I'm very sorry. I can't provide any names because I wasn't involved in any operation. I think you are coming up from the assumption, and I'd like to be charged with particular crime first, because as of now, I only thought I'm helping out our spaceport after certain events.
How have you been communicating with your collaborators?
Well, with my colleagues who work in my department, we mostly talk
No, your
verbally.
collaborators, your collaborators in the industrial espionage in which you've been involved in.
Oh, sorry. I thought, because to be honest, from my perspective, the only collaborators I have are people from my department with whom we've been trying to solve this problem. I'm not aware of any other collaborators of such kind.
Have you been offered any payment or incentives for
I mean,
this?
I do get
for
salary
your,
for my
for your
position.
actions?
Yes, I do get salary. I think what's Mike, as a Andrew, I would like to ask you, what's my salary for this role which I've taken? Like
I think it was 10,000 credits a month, wasn't it? It was a good salary.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. We're getting on the same terms. Yes, I do get compensation. It's 10,000 credits a month for this job. Which I'm being paid. And when is the payment date? Like, let's say 1st of the month or whatever. Like I'm being paid as everyone here in Starport on this day. Yes.
So for your for your involvement in this industrial espionage, who's provided your incentives and how have they been delivered to you?
Okay, I think you are referring back to espionage strategy here. I'm still extremely sorry, but I'm not aware of any espionage going on.
So what? Okay, let's move on, shall we?
I'm very sorry I can't be any much of that.
It's okay. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I'm helpful.
You're helping us. No, and we're here to help you. We're here to help you.
Great.
Okay, so she sort of looks through her leaflet.
I feel we work as a team.
I think it's going well. She sort of looks through her leaflets and she says, okay, can I ask you, Mr. Mamalan, what economic or operational impacts were you aiming to achieve with your actions?
Well, thank you that we are back on.
In particular, with reference to your disruption of economic activity.
Sorry, I do apologize. I thought we were back on common grounds. In regards to espionage, sorry.
Well, let's forget the word espionage. You clearly disagree with it.
Good.
Let's talk about the economic disruption that you've been involved in.
Yeah, so the economic disruption which was going on was...
So you admit there was economic disruption?
Of course, there were riots. And,
yeah, of course. And you admit that you were a big part of this economic disruption. It's a tree peeper. Yeah, amazing.
So Hi, Phil.
I'm just lurking.
Lovely.
Yeah. No, it's a common knowledge that there was an economic disruption in a spaceport.
And you were at the root of it. You were at the root of it.
Well, I kind of had to be because my job was.
You admit you were at the root of the economic disruption.
Sorry.
You admit that you were at the root of the economic disruption.
In the root of trying to solve it, yes, of course.
It's not what you said, though, is it?
I believe that's exactly what I said.
No, it is not. You
I
said,
mean, you've
I
got the
said,
recording.
well, we can check the recording, can't we?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, okay, well, we can do that later. Can I ask you what tools or technology you've used to conduct this economic disruption? Let's not call it espionage. This economic disruption.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad that we're starting to move into the right direction. So generally, to solve this economic disruption, I used the tools provided by my
No, not to solve. To create.
to create.
To conduct.
Sorry, to my knowledge, there was no involvement of any.
Apart from your personal and work computer systems, which have, your fingerprints are all over them. Your data trail.
Yeah.
Is easy to see.
Yeah. Totally.
You've not made any effort to kind of hide your tracks. I mean, it's almost like you didn't care.
Why would I need to hide something if I'm employed for a job and I'm just trying to do my job right?
Yeah. Can I ask you, did you create any backdoors or leave any vulnerabilities within the corporation systems?
Well, you just said that I wasn't doing any effort in hiding anything. It's because I believe I wasn't hiding anything. So no, there's nothing to hide.
Okay.
You have got, believe it or not, you have got full history of my actions available to you.
Oh, okay. Just makes a little note.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Mr. Mamalan, when you began planning this operation, this economic disruption operation?
Yeah. A good question. So, since there was no,
would you agree it's an accurate question?
I think it's a good question. I think it's a good question.
It is a good question.
Because
it is a good question.
Because I can answer to some.
Please do. Yeah. Please do.
So I started to solve the problem about 2 weeks ago.
No. No. I think we're at loggerheads again.
Oh, sorry. I'm still trying to be very helpful. I was hoping I could help.
And I appreciate it. And
we are a team. At the end of the day, we are a team, right? We were trying to do the same thing.
At the end of the day, we're all working together to try and make this. We're all in this boat rowing together.
We are. So basically, but just to double check. You did mention about a couple of minutes ago that you had something in the recording, and now is it right that in the same recording you just admitted that we are doing something together? Would it be fair to ask that
we're trying to come to a solution?
But would it be fair to ask that the accomplices which you are trying to find are actually you, if you actually stated yourself that I should have some accomplices?
I think we're nearly finished.
Has Reytar got a lawyer? Just asking.
He's not got a lawyer. We're going to come to that.
I don't need a lawyer.
We're going to come to
that. I'll be fine. As he digs himself.
Mr. Mamalan.
Yes.
Do you believe your actions in this economic disruption were justified in any way?
Well, let's talk it through with all seriousness, because this question, unlike others, actually can lead us maybe to potential conclusions. Whether my actions were justified or not depends on whether certain results, positive of course, for the problem results, were achieved. I must admit that unfortunately, actions which have been taken were not enough to stop the riots. As you say, you've got all the trail of my actions, my reports. So arguably, if that wasn't enough, then possibly I haven't done my job well.
Okay.
Possibly, but that's as far.
Final question.
Yes, please. We are the team. Here. We are the team.
We're trying to work together. You help us, we'll help you.
You are working with me, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Final questions, really. Two things. One, would you be willing to cooperate with our investigation to reduce your sentence?
I mean, if there is court, I would like to listen to the accusation with pleasure.
And what information can you provide in exchange for leniency? Now, you don't have to answer those right now.
Sorry, what's leniency?
a lightness of touch when it comes to your trial.
Right, I'm looking forward to a trial because, to my knowledge, there's nothing of criminal activity which requires criminal
Well,
prosecution.
I think that's. Listen, we're just investigators. That's for the. That's
we
for
are
the
working together. I understand. I'm trying
that's
to
for
be.
the court.
I'm
That's
trying
for
to
the
be helpful.
court to decide. That's for the court to decide.
I'm
Okay.
trying to be
I think.
helpful.
She looks at Agent Taryn and she goes, "Well, she stands up and she says, I think we've got enough there. I think we'll pass that on to the prosecutor and we'll see how it goes." I do have a couple of things I'd like to tell you. Port Victoria does not operate capital punishments, but we do take corporate espionage and economic disruption extremely seriously.
Very well.
And it is dealt with quite harshly. You do have the right to a lawyer to represent you in court. You can represent yourself.
I will just for the funsies.
Yeah, that you can represent yourself in court if you wish. We can, and there are three lawyers she could get you. You've got a guy called Piers Holback.
No, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. I know it's probably going to get me in trouble as Reytar, but just because I feel like that would be fun to play if we ever come to that. If I'm not murdered in the cell, I'm like, don't worry, no need.
Okay.
I answered everything honestly. I'm willing to keep answering questions.
That's fine. Okay. Well, that's enough for now. Let's take you back to your room, to your quarters. And when she's by quarters, she means the cell. And she takes you back to that kind of harsh, clean steel prison cell where we were earlier. And you stay there for
I think there is a limit of how much I can stay in a cell without the court kind of happening, right?
It's 3 days. It's 3 days. You're going to stay there 3 days. So you wait there 3 days. And
our rights over by the time I'm out. They're not, are they?
Someone has taken your job and made sure everyone's paid. There's been a lot of you don't really know for sure because no one's going to tell you anything.
Right.
But I guess that what happens behind the scenes is that they sort of tell you someone who comes to give you some food, which is really shit. Probably makes you sick.
Probably from this restaurant, which I opened.
Yeah. Now, what we're going to do, because you've decided to represent yourself, you don't want an advocate. Let's take you to court. We're going to move the scene on. We're going to go to our courtroom.
I love it that I have to represent myself there.
Can you see that courtroom?
Not yet.
Okay, courtroom.
But I think it's just fun.
Hang on.
Wow.
There we go. Okay, let's just put on some where would it be? Don't really need any sort of audio. There probably is some audio, but again, I did this ages and ages ago, and I wasn't expecting to run it tonight, so I just kind of like blasted through it this afternoon to try and get it sort of ready. Okay, so we're in court now. The APA have decided there are 6 charges, okay, that they are potentially going to go for.
Amazing.
Each charge.
Why do I need to murder Reytar if I can torture him?
Each charge carries a fine of 75,000 credits.
Okay.
If you do not have the ready money to pay this charge, then you will be, or potentially you may anyway be sentenced to a period of hard labor.
Understandable.
Okay, so this is ready cash.
Yeah, ready cash. Can I double check, please, a few things?
Okay.
This is definitely not going in a favor of Reytar, but these fines, right? This fine. I think there is like criminal court, right? And there is like administrative court or whatnot. I'm not talking about the traveler system, but in general.
Yeah.
I know it probably sounds weird from me to say something against Reytar, right? But I feel like if I'm being accused, so okay, here's the logic.
Basically you're gonna argue in a court of law now.
Because
So
what
we
I
don't have
want
to
to
argue
say,
anymore. We're gonna make some rolls.
yeah, what I want to say is that I would, if this is a criminal offense which I'm being charged with, like espionage,
Yeah.
I think fine in itself.
6 charges. 6 charges.
Yeah, 6 charges. Yeah. But regardless of the charges, but they are criminal charges. Maybe all 6, maybe not. I think that you can't, in real life, pay a fine for a criminal charge. You have to be prosecuted by a sentence. And I'm not saying I want Reytar to end up in jail by any means. I'm just saying that if it's a really criminal charge, then the consequence, I think, can't be a fine. However,
well, it depends. There are different charges. You see. Some of them are more serious than others.
Yeah. However,
some of them are just charged by fines. Some of them will be will be like a custodial sentence.
Yeah. So, however, as a Reytar, what I was hoping, like future helping our court case, I was hoping to convince court that this was poor job performance, which can be fined on the other hand, and maybe not even needed to be viewed in a criminal court and can be viewed as an administrative issue. That I was just doing my work badly, kind of.
Okay.
That's the logic. Sorry.
You were doing it badly.
I was a bad guy, wasn't I? Bad boy.
You were a bad boy. Let's put. We're going to put the. This is our judge. Okay. This is Judge Ninord. Judge Ninord. Judge Ninord Hin. So that's your judge. He's sitting overseeing the facilities, and actually it's not a very busy courtroom because this is not a big sort of case. And we've got our prosecutor, Terry Marr, the Right Honourable Terry Marr. Now everyone says about her, she's an android, but
nice.
She's human, but is she? She's like so kind of like still and precise. Everyone says she's an android, but I mean, she's not an android, or is she an android? So we've got Terry Marr. She's the sort of prosecutor. This is your first charge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've put it in the chat. Identity falsification to secure access to proprietary data. This is your first charge.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put you on.
Guilty.
Let's put you on there.
Because I'm definitely not guilty of that.
Right, so we're going to make opposed advocate checks. What's your advocate skill?
Okay, I thought we are not doing real rolls. I thought we are doing like imaginary.
No, we're not going to argue. No, we're going to roll. What's your advocate skill?
0.
Got 0 advocate?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, nice. Brilliant. I thought it was untrained.
I'm really fucked, am I not then?
No, Angela, it's not 0. It's untrained, isn't it?
Well, I mean, untrained. Yeah, sorry, I meant like 0.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Okay, you have no. Okay, so let me roll. Who wants to roll first? Do you want to roll first, or do you want her to roll first? Doesn't matter, does it? I'm going to make her. She's going to re-roll.
Sure.
Okay. So 5, 6. So you rolled a -5.
I think she will roll like +10 or something.
On the first charge.
Send him down.
On the first charge, guilty.
The only thing I didn't expect is to actually that I will have to roll. This was a bit unexpected.
Okay, this is the second charge: unauthorized acquisition and transmission of proprietary data.
Hold on. Right. Okay, Mike. You know what?
What?
Give me 1 second.
No, we're in court, mate. This is time to.
I want to increase I want to spend my experience point on an advocate.
No. No.
Oh.
No. This is second charge, unauthorized acquisition and transmission of proprietary data. The accused is charged with an unauthorized acquisition, encryption bypass, and interstellar transmission of proprietary data belonging to the APA Corporation. This act constitutes a direct violation of the RSA Trade Secrets Act, Section 42B, and carries severe penalties under the ASA Corporate Espionage and Cybersecurity Treaty of 905. You rolled a 0. She rolls a...
Well, it's sum of 8.
Ooh, that's a
you do
draw.
it.
That's about as well as you could do as well, right?
That's a draw. Okay, so we're going to say that is... you're going to say not guilty for that. Okay. So that's 1.
That's
okay.
how you fight in court.
Okay, so
and
it couldn't be proven. It couldn't be proven.
And like kids, the lesson here is always ask for a lawyer.
Well,
here's our,
you know what? It's an educational channel. It's an educational channel. It's not where we joke about penises and stuff. It's all about education. Always ask for a lawyer.
It is. Here's our third charge: malicious cyber intrusion and sabotage. The accused is hereby indicted for executing malicious cyber intrusion into the neural networks of the APA, resulting in destabilization of economic salary algorithms. This sabotage led to widespread worker distress and hardship, along with severe economic disruption across Port Victoria, in breach of the APA Stability and Protection Act, Article 7, Clause 19.
I've got an out of character question.
Yeah.
Did Reytar do that?
Yeah.
Well, kind of yes,
guilty.
and kind of yes, and kind of no.
Send him down.
Mike. I'm totally fine by the route we are going, but I just have to clarify something. Just small and honest clarification.
Yeah.
I thought that at some stages when we had those kind of gaps between roles, I have put like at least some form of safety measures, alibi, did something, like paid something.
You never said anything.
What do you mean?
Even if you did, like, this is based upon what we've done tonight.
No, I understand. But it just seems just slightly like, so there is an accusation, which I truly did, but at the same time I did put like some alibi, and then it doesn't have any effect. This part a little bit looks like...
I asked you if you were when you were like changing this data, you were doing it for your job. So you didn't make any attempt to disguise your nature or to disguise what happened.
I didn't do any attempt, like, but
No.
I did
This
pay.
is what it's based on.
So it's a bit weird. Okay, fine, maybe doesn't matter.
You're doing
Rolling
it for your job. Right,
Oh,
wait.
sorry, yes,
You
so
got to hit
sorry,
the charge.
sorry,
Let's hit the charge.
This
Let's
is
hit
the
the
charge.
charge.
I'm already there.
Okay, this is your is it coming up in the chat here?
It does,
isn't it? Yeah.
collusion and conspiracy. I can't even read it, it's so painful.
It's collusion and conspiracy to destabilize economies. The defendant stands accused of colluding with rival corporate entities and conspiring to disrupt the financial stability of the APA economic zone by disrupting staff financial data and orchestrating a series of strategic financial attacks. The accused has violated APA Protocol Section 89D, aimed at maintaining fair trade practices and economic balance within the system. You rolled -3.
No, I rolled
she
5.
Rolls,
effect is -3.
Effect is -3. Education. She rolls guilty.
11.
Okay, nearly there.
Nearly there. Like nearly in the grave. I feel like Petita dying.
Okay. Charge 5. Illegal manipulation of APA salary algorithms. These are all different issues, slightly different, but it's the way they get you. Now, the accused is charged with the illegal manipulation of APA staff salary data, leading to economic disruption, artificial inflation, and deflation of scarcity of crucial commodity prices within the APA. This manipulation constitutes a breach of the APA Integrity Code, Article 13, subsection F, designed to safeguard against economic tampering and ensure the integrity of APA salary transactions. Yes.
This is very good.
I use ChatGPT against you.
This is very good.
Okay, so roll.
Wait, can you hold on? I could roll. Wait. Hold on, Mike. Did you just use for the robot an education modifier?
Still would have made. You still would have lost.
No. I'm just asking.
It's not. She's not a robot. She's a real person. She's just
A real
the call of
person.
an android.
But because I haven't been using any modifiers though, I was just rolling a skill, so I could have used the education modifier.
Okay, so we can go back. Yeah, you can use education.
I can
modifier.
just double check if there was. I don't think there was anything close. 312, 88. Actually, 88 was a clear win on my side then.
Yeah, you won.
211, I was just unlucky. 511, I was unlucky. Fair enough, but I will use same modifier at least.
Same modifier.
Fuck.
Let's see.
No, I just rolled too bad, like in general. Those are unlucky rolls. You roll so
Guilty.
well.
Guilty. Okay, last charge. Now this is a serious charge. Okay.
Fuck.
So is the judge just sort of taking in the information from the advocate and just going guilty, or is the judge really getting into it?
Yes, that's the thing.
Is he sort of relishing?
He's relishing it.
Reytar?
Yeah, he's relishing it because like this doesn't happen very often.
Because
he's like guilty, send him down.
Yeah,
this scum.
There's a bit of excitement building in the courtroom as well now. This is the final charge: reckless endangerment of the civilian population.
Oh, fuck.
Now, the accused.
Can you say that out loud?
The accused stands charged with the facilitation of public unrest, endangering over several thousand inhabitants of Port Victoria. There was a riot. People were hurt. It breaching the APA Biosecurity and Public Safety Act of 1996. Can you make a roll, please?
So the fact that I actually paid the compensation and kind of reported upward, it didn't make any difference. Should have just let everyone die. Untrained skill. Come here. Come on, education. Hey, it's not the worst. 8. That's probably as much as I can get. Come on, Mike. 1 and 2. Do me a solid. No, you're not doing
Guilty.
me a solid.
Okay. So we basically have 5 charges. Okay.
6,
which are out of 6, yeah. Okay. Now each charge carries a 75,000 credit fine. So that is 375,000 credits. Okay. Plus, the last one carries a mandatory 1-year sentence of hard labour on a Aranacea kind of chain gang involved in river clearance in the swamps. If you're unable to pay any of those other fines, each fine will be a year of hard labour while you clear your debt. Do you have ready cash? And I'm not talking about the ship kitty.
I do not know. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Even if I had the ship kitty, first of all, I'm already 1 year in the prison. I will definitely hope that crew will rescue me. There's no way I will.
Okay, so you can't pay. Okay, so you got 5. Basically, you've got 5 years.
Rescue who?
You've got 5 years of hard labour.
Yeah.
In an Aranacea.
Is it a penal colony or is it a penal prison? Is it a prison colony? Is it a prison planet?
It's a well, on the planet that you're on, which is Aranacea, which is the kind of like jungle-ish, swampy forest, woods, jungle planet. It's one big continent with a couple of islands, and there's lots of rivers that connect some of these disparate kind of communities. And there's wildlife is pretty hostile, and these swamps are the rivers are regularly they become kind of clogged, and it stops the riverboats.
Clogged with what? Dead prisoners? What do they get clogged with?
It's clogged with like foliage and detritus, and so they use chain gangs to clear the detritus, And if you survive, you basically earn your sort of freedom, really. Because there's those two shows. Do you remember those two TV shows, Aranes's Deadliest Rivers with Frank Frazzetti? That's what you'll be doing. Yeah, so you're going to be working on a chain gang.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but we'll just finish the scene. We're just going to finish the scene with as you're sort of escorted in chains from from Port Victoria. We've got this woman. This is Yana TK of the Travellers News Society, which is a sector-wide, well, it's an Imperium-wide kind of news agency. Yana TK is the face of the TNS in the Trojan Reach. Now, people say she seems to be always where the action is. Some people say she's a series of clones, that she just happens to be there. Some people say she orchestrates events and just happens to be there to report on them. But anyway, as you're sort of being escorted out by the police, like in chains, she sort of manages to push forward of the sort of like people who've kind of gathered to watch this, because this is taking place over a number of days. This kind of a trial over probably a couple of, let's just see how many days it's taken place over. It's taken place over 7 days. Yeah, and as the days have gone on and there's a bit of excitement has built, the crowd public gallery have been sort of turning up to see. And Yana TK actually sort of leans in and she says, Mr. Mamalan, have you got any? And we've been watching this trial with great excitement and interest. Have you got any? Can you comment? And she holds the microphone. Can you comment, please?
And just because I like this when people do it in the court, you know, when the reporters are filming, people always put like they're in chains, but they put up these folders against their face to prevent their identity, like recognition, like especially if they did something like really bad. So what trainer Mamelon is going to do is I'm going to keep like, you know, I always find it a bit funny when people like keep the folder next to their face, but I think trainer would do it just for the sake of it.
Just cover the folder.
Just yeah, and keep on going. Like just yeah, like they do in those American courts. Yes, that scene.
Brilliant. I might even have like a little picture of the where would it be? I guess it would be here, the swamp. I'll just find it for you, because I did it, but I've kind of like forgotten to add it in as locations. Where would it be?
If I ever see Aslan, I'll look him dead in the eye and I will say, "I'm no snitch."
You didn't snitch. Hang on, let me just rename that. Rename the swamp. Here it is. Forgot to add this in, so just transfer it over. There we go. Right, welcome to your home for the next 5 years.
Nice. Unless Tim saves me.
Okay, well, that's the end of our session tonight, gentlemen.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun.
Well, to be honest, this was a lot of fun. I felt this tension. You know what?
I had decided that, and I made some rolls ahead of it, that Lewis Howe was suspicious, right? But I made a roll to see whether he would investigate you. And he rolled really, really high. So he was like straight away thinking, who is this guy? You've just taken my job. I'm not just going to lie down and do that. So he started like investigating you, and I thought because he rolled so well, I was like, well, he knows people. He's going to start kind of like pushing a little bit, and I thought I'm going to give you one go at causing disruption. Free go, and I thought, and if you try and do it again, I'm going to make a roll. And I thought, and if you do it again, by the third time, I thought if he does it 3 times, I'm going to fucking do him. I'm going to arrest him. Because, like, first time could be an accident. Second time, what's going on here? Third time, clear malevolent intent. And I knew you wouldn't be able to resist it if things were going well.
So Mike, amazing session. Thank you very much. The tension reminded me, do you remember we did this one shot, or was it like 5 shot, of when we were invited to the castle and everyone was turning into demons? You were running it.
Yeah.
It kind of, you could see things going kind of bad, but without the obvious part where it's going bad. Like you could sense it but not see it. It's that kind of thing. So this was the same. I was a bit lost, I think, with them. To be honest, I thought some of my actions, like which we role played, would result into like defense mechanisms of any kind, but it is what it is. 5 years in swamps. Like imagine like now Team Roll plays this, and 5 years later, Reytar is like, I'm out. You've missed me, and everyone is like, oh no, not this guy. But the most important question: how is Logistics doing, Mike? That's the only thing. And Reytar, I imagine when he's escorted, like he's like, how is my Logistics doing? Was there any long-lasting effect though from this riots? Because I struggle.
Well, you don't know yet. You don't know. That's way ahead.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
I guess things will just settle back down to normal.
So what was the point then?
Well, you were enjoying yourself.
In swamps? Aren't they bringing swamps?
The thing is, though, you never stop to ask yourself what happens when I stop interfering. And like you could at any time have thought, well, what happened? I've got to keep doing this, and what happens when I stop? Well, things will just go back to normal. But you were just having such a good time that you never stopped to ask yourself. So I thought,
yeah, no,
of course it'll go back to normal.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't really. But
yeah. Listen, the UK was disrupted for 6 months during COVID, and afterwards everything just goes back to normal except financial hits. Whereas you've disrupted things for a couple of weeks.
Good.
So there will be an effect.
5 years of my life. But I'm pretty sure Aslan will be friendly for that, at least. That I'm no snitch.
You're no snitch.
I'm no snitch.
Yeah, and you were given plenty of opportunity to kind of like
snitch. Yeah,
snitch.
No
yeah,
way.
say you're yeah. Hey Phil, man, it's great to see you.
Well, it's good to be able to pop in and see Reytar in the thumb, get the screws to put on him. Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. I hope to be back in a week or 2. I don't know what's the schedule look like the next few weeks. I don't want to pop in if it's going to be.
Well, we're playing Gary's Twilight 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You can stop that recording actually, Andy, if you've not already done so. Yeah, we're playing Andy's Twilight 2000.